It was such a perfect plan.
Oh no!
99.9%, man. Unlucky. Bot where could squeeze in through, but she won't be finding any as Yo is. Oh my god, and there's a hole!
Oh! There's a hole!
Yeah, if you want to, you can start. Let's go.
Alright, so hello everyone. Welcome to Mangrove Shallows Cup. Round 5, this is, I think, the last round.
Yes,
and
sir.
we have, in the top left, Mr. Yo playing as the Aztecs. And in the bottom right, we have ACCM playing as the Mayans. They're getting the Mayans out right away. Sorry, the Meso-civilizations out right away. Some of the strongest on Arabia. Well, we're on Bog Arabia now. And where are these players as far as the standings? I always have to ask you because I'm not paying enough attention.
No worries, man. No worries. That's the thing about week number 5 and the Swiss system. Everyone being part of week 5 is actually having a match point game, so to speak. The winner is out. The winner is in, proceeds, and the loser is completely out of the tournament.
Are you serious? Every single player?
Every single player. That's how it works in the Swiss system, the Schenkel system. All the players involved have 2 wins and 2 losses, and this is the last.
Every
week.
single player.
I mean, at the moment, part of week number 5, but there are only 6 players involved. You know, that's the thing.
Oh, okay. So, okay, I get it. Okay, that's pretty crazy. That's really good. These games are very high stakes.
Yeah, definitely. For both players involved in each matchup. Therefore, they will try their best to win as soon as possible, as nicely as possible, because otherwise, being behind that heavily could be a bad situation.
Yeah, and ACCM's boars going back. So going back to the games that I have casted, luckily I've casted quite a few games from these 2 players. I haven't casted any games from like Doubt or Tato. But I've watched ACCM a lot in this tournament, and he impressed me a lot with a very good showing against Leary in the first round. I believe went to the last game till deathmatch. And obviously he's one series away from getting to the next round. So ACCM is always a player that's in these tournaments because he's a very, very good player, top 15 in the world. But he's never really, broken through on one of these tournaments. Maybe with a win here, going to the playoffs, he'll really be able to get the recognition he deserves. And then Mr. Yo, we all know how strong Mr. Yo is. We could see him be super strong on some matches. The last week's matchup, or maybe it was the week before, where he had some very poor parts of the game, but then really turned it on later in the game with some really great parts of the game. So Yo's potential is super high, and we've seen him at a high level previously, but whether he's going to be at a super high level this series, it waits to be seen.
Exactly. Both players have a lot of potential, but that's also going to depend on what they're going to do in the early game to actually build up the bases. And we can see that ACCM is now dangerously approaching to the TC and is about to lose his scout, man. Come on, man. Dodge the arrows. Dodge the arrows. Ooh, that was a tight one. Now left with 8 out of 50 HP. That's a bad start for ACCM. Bit of a sloppy one. Didn't pay attention to due to the fact that he most likely looked at his economy there for given reasons. But that is going to be a nice advantage for Yo in the beginning as he has a full HP scout.
Yeah, it's a huge advantage, especially in a Meso war where we're likely to see some sort of aggression like men-at-arms or militia. We already have the barracks coming up from Mr. Yo. It's 7 minutes, so we'll probably see men-at-arms from him. He's playing as the Aztecs. Typically, the Aztecs have the advantage in the men-at-arms department because of that extra gold and the creation bonus. And ACCM probably is going to think about counter man-at-armsing and going for gold and transitional archers. The problem for ACCM is that his golds, all 3 of them, are very forward and very open. I haven't seen a map with all 3 golds this exposed and this forward in probably forever.
Exactly, this is really bad for ACCM. I mean, how do you want to even protect this besides using towers, right? You're pushed into going for defensive towers, or your opponent is going to go for towers and basically deny those resources. Also, the stone situation looks really bad. The secondary stone is really far away. It's actually towards the middle of the whole distance between the 2, and the first stone also not in the best situation. Therefore, ACCM best advised to go for some aggressive moves to actually focus on the middle or the front part of Yo's base, so the fight doesn't take place in front of his own base, because otherwise I feel that he's not going to get out of that situation easily. Therefore, they're both clicking up now, and we can see that ACCM is actually clicking up first. That's actually quite some difference there.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a nice little
we have
difference.
Mayans and Aztecs, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so
certainly.
that's why. Yeah.
Certainly. So both players 21 population up. What the difference is due to, I don't know. Maybe some idle time or poor Dark Age mechanics. But this gold is, I think, even made worse by the Civilization matchup. since the Aztecs should have the advantage in the Dark Age. Where I think if you're ACCM, go 5 militia, maybe go big, maybe go 6 or 7. Make sure that you 100% win the militia battle, and let's see the first engagement as these militia are going downhill for Yo. ACCM should have a good position.
Exactly, and he is closer with his own barracks. He could reinforce if needed. He's going for double, not double decks, but man-at-arms most importantly. Both are doing that, and it's going to kick in at the very same time, just 1 second's difference, and then probably both are going to try to engage. Interestingly, both man-at-arms groups, very soon man-at-arms groups, are going to the top right-hand side now. Now the engagement is starting, and man-at-arms has kicked in slightly earlier for ACCM, I guess, but still Yo's taking good fights with the Eagle, most importantly, and it seems like Yo's gonna win this one, or is he? Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Yo should have won that. I mean, he had that Eagle there the whole time. ACCM should have at least brought his Eagle, maybe just to, just to poke and prod a little bit at the Eagle, at the Men-at-Arms, hopefully not lost it. But that wasn't too bad of a fight. I mean, Yo has not continued to add Men-at-Arms. Instead, Yo is adding a archery range early, just like ACCM. So we're not going to see a big Men-at-Arms war like I thought we would. And players are now going to go to archers. The question now, though, without any men-at-arms on the field, is going to be, do you go archers or skirmishers? We have 1 archer, 1 skirmisher for Yo, and we have 2 archers for ACCM. Of course, as mines, you want to add archers, but skirmishers might be the way to go here with so few men-at-arms on the field.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, you want to make use of this bonus that you have with the Mayans, but skirmishes in the end will be the one unit to be chosen, I strongly assume. Unless, of course, someone wants to go for some early Eagle pressure, and that is actually Yo, by the way, who's now producing a second Eagle. So it's interesting. He has both skirmishes and Eagles on his side as a production. Interesting. He's going to go for quite some aggressive stance, producing a variety of units here, whereas ACCM trying to play the game with more archers, but that's not going to work like that. He's being chased by a scout as well as skirmishes, and he doesn't have fletching, so that's not going to work, at least for now. And the tower, as said, is now in the making for ACCM because he needs that one, because otherwise Yo's going to take over and then deny the gold, and that could be GG for ACCM. So he's best advised to obviously secure that area ASAP.
Yeah, finally the tower goes up. It feels kind of, I mean, this army composition of Yo has really done some good. The extra skirmisher in there, plus the extra eagle and the men-at-arms, has done quite a bit of damage, killed a villager, now unfortunately going to lose 2 archers to the tower. Perhaps that tower should have been up earlier for ACCM, but ACCM secures his gold. Now he's got to worry about his wood line.
Yeah, true. I mean, he could secure that one, just couple of quick walls, and that's fine. We're just talking about 2 skirmishes. It's not the dangerous thing coming from the distance. The Eagles could be definitely annoying, and come on, man, just block it. Oh, come on, that was actually preventable in my opinion, but it didn't happen. ACCM too busy at this point, but doing his best to secure this villager's life. But the other villagers are not even moving because he feels confident with the army that he has. 2 skirms and an archer, but I'm not so sure, man. Yo's actually doing great things. ACCM quite reactive. He just wants to keep his cool, not to go for a lot of villager idle time, just keeps him working and tries to compensate the situation with his own army.
I like that ACCM has at least completed the walls on the right side. That means all he has to worry about is the left side. Of course, he's got a lot to worry about on the left side, but looks like he's actually going to corner this army and hopefully clean it up, as long as he doesn't lose to the archers to the skirms.
Yeah, indeed. It's interesting how ACCM just continues with his economy, trying to keep a cool stance over here, don't panic. He also has fletching, so does Yo, at least for now. Asking myself what the next step is going to be like. More and more archers, by the way, approaching by Yo, as well as 3 forward villagers. Is he going to go for some extra resources? No, it's actually... It seems like he wants to drop a tower, at least I feel.
Well, the thing about covering your gold with a tower, it does usually leave you open, depending on the shape of the gold, to a tower, like, in the perfect position where it can just cover the gold and not engage the other tower. So perhaps Yo is thinking about a southern tower to take over the gold.
Yeah.
Yo has had an advantage in military this entire game, but does he have enough to place this tower? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. At this point, if we just look at these 3 vills and this 1 archer, obviously not, but he wants to play a sneaky game. That's way too ambitious. Oh yeah, ACCM sees this one. This is a joke, actually, for ACCM at this point. Why does Yo do this? He felt way too safe. That's way too overconfident. He loses 1 villager already. That's terrible. And there's the remaining army of Yo arriving now. Way too late. A great reaction by ACCM, walling in the tower, denying this one. This is super, super important. In my opinion, way too easily thought by Yo.
Yeah, a mistake from Yo, and I'm quite impressed by ACCM's defense. Normally, in these circumstances, players might crumble under the pressure. Their gold's getting pressure, then their wood line. ACCM had all of his villagers working the whole time, only lost one villager, cleaned up the army, and now he has more army than Yo. And I think that Yo wasn't expecting ACCM's economy to work so good this whole time, and therefore expected himself to have more army, and that wasn't the case.
That's crazy, actually. It's a good game by ACCM so far. If we look at the economy, he even has a villager lead. Yo is off. Oh no, okay. Sorry, my bad. He's getting wheelbarrow there, so I was just scared for a second that he's idling his TC, but all good. Not a huge difference then between the two. And ACCM now trying to find a spot where he could squeeze in through, but he won't be finding any as Yo is. Oh my god, and there's a hole!
Oh! There's a hole! There's a hole in the wall!
Oh my god, man. There's always a hole, as they say. But he won't be able to deal as much damage as one would think, because, I mean, that one village is quite a bad loss for Yo, but ACCM is best advised to keep his army safe, because there's a huge chance that he might lose it otherwise. But so far it's looking bad for Yo all of a sudden.
Well, actually, ACCM needs to make sure he gets his archers out of there. There's quite a few skirmishers in the area, and he's going to dive deeper into the base. He might lose a lot of archers in this instance.
Yeah, he will be stuck in the corner. He will go to the left-hand side, and that's the mistake. Unless he wants to take the fight on the hill, which he shouldn't, because he's facing pure skirms and eagles. Even though Yo's taking a fight downhill, he's still going for some important kills. The archers are being dealt with. It's going to solve the issue, but in the background, ACCM going for Castle Age.
Yeah, ACCM, I can't overstate enough how well ACCM has managed his economy this whole time. He's going to lose a lot of army, and he's going to have to rebuild it somehow, but his economy is in a very good place, despite all this pressure.
Fully agreed. Yo's just behind. He tries to get the remaining amounts of food to click up himself. And then the question, of course, being what is the next step? Yo is on stone, by the way, as he has spent some for the sake of, I believe, towers. Wow, did he actually lose that one tower that he wanted to place? He didn't delete it. Is that the reason why he's on stone? Interesting. Fair enough. Interesting. That's actually quite bad for his economy, but okay, happens. And then besides that, we have a couple of demolition rafts prepared, as well as another barracks on top of that hill for Yo. I feel that's going to be demolition rafts and eagles.
Well, I wonder if those demos can go straight to the gold and not all those villagers can garrison in that tower. That would be the weak point. I think ACCM really needs to get this castle out as soon as possible. Make sure his crossbows are in a good position until he gets the castle, because he's so exposed until then.
Yeah, indeed. A lot of things can happen. ACCM needs to hurry up. As you mentioned, he is on stone and will potentially go for a castle. He needs time for that one. And that's the momentum for Yo that he could use together with the demolition rafts. If he lands a couple of good explosions, if he was to get the crossbow army, or if he was to get these villagers that are now being protected by another TC, well, a lot of things could happen, but I feel that Yo is taking too much time. He's not gonna go for some super early castle aggression. At least it wouldn't work now anymore. He's too far behind timing-wise. Therefore, ACCM will, I believe, have enough time to protect himself.
Well, it looks like Yo is trying to take this hill, might add a siege workshop with that villager a little later on. Nope, he's going to go down. Now we have all these demos. Demos can, of course, get a big shot on the crossbow, so you have to be very careful. And elite skirmisher coming in on these skirmishers. So this army from ACCM might get caught out a second time, and that could be something that ACCM can't afford.
Yeah, true. He needs to pay a lot of attention. We have to keep in mind that the demolition rats, of course, are nerfed speed-wise, and also their pierce armor is -2. So at least the crossbowmen could land a couple of good hits, but there's also the skirmishers and the eagles that are now turned into eagle warriors and get squires. So the army of ACCM in absolute danger. Needs to be absolutely aware of what is happening. Now we have demolition ships even. Careful now. Otherwise this army is gone.
It looks like ballistics came in a little bit too late. There's another 30 seconds on that upgrade, and we have a few demos moving around the back. Another few demos going around the other side. One of them is bound to hit. Let's see.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess something is going to happen. As you said, Bill 6 is going to kick in way too late. One explosion, second explosion. A lot of HP on the crossbows, but I believe the majority is going to go down here. There we go. All the crossbows are dead. And if you look at the military count, it's now 19 to 12. That is due to the fact that 10 more crossbows are on the pitch, but utilized as a defensive measure for now because ACCM still needs to mass up and keep himself safe because it's about the castle that he's going to go for.
ACCM's got about 30 seconds now to place this castle before there's a huge army on his doorstep.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, we have some pause, I believe. Now they're continuing. It's a bit of a little lag, but that's usual. But as you said, it's a timer now. ACCM needs to hurry up, otherwise the pressure is going to be on by Yo.
Well, he's got 300 gold and 300 wood, and he's lacking 200 stone. I would advise him to use his market and place this castle down wherever he can, because I don't think that group of crossbows is going to be good enough.
Exactly, exactly. The crossbows won't do too much. And he even takes them now. Where does he go? He's just patrolling, okay. At least Yo is taking his time as well. He tries to prepare himself. Precisely, he's actually not producing any further military units. He has quite some good numbers, but he focuses on the economy at sea. Trying to understand what he does now. Marching forward really, really slowly.
Alright, Siege Workshop for ACCM. He knows he's going to have to be defensive against these elite skirmishers. The castle is just about ready. Question is, where does he place it? I know he would like to take control of that gold somehow. Or maybe it's going to go in the bottom left to take control of those golds. I would like to see him maybe delete the barracks in the house and place it next to that gold or something along those lines. But then again, Mr. Yo might be able to place a castle on top of that hill, and that would bode well for late game.
Yeah,
so there's
true
the
as well. True as well. So there's the castle indeed. Well, not the biggest fan of the position. Nah, it's actually okay. I mean, I understand why. But still. Ah, interesting. Now, Yo feels that he must do something against it. Nice gate there by ACCM as a response. Demolition ship exploding. That's bad for Yo, but still he's approaching. The Eagles are going to go forward. They just have +1 though for the records. No +2, and the castle is up already. That's convenient castle. And that's done. Yo needs to retreat. Otherwise, he's going to lose even the remaining units. Going well for ACCM. Going well so far.
Yeah, Mr. Yo got in too deep there, and he lost a lot of eagles and a lot of skirmishers when he didn't have to. Now ACCM has his castle up. He's got access to that 1 gold. He has access to the gold in the south, but it still doesn't look very pretty for him. Just accessing that gold's gonna... It's not gonna last him forever, and Mr. Yo has control of the 3rd gold there and the hill. If Mr. Yo can maintain control of that this game, then he'll be in a very good position and possibly be able to take out the castles of the Mayans. However, ACCM getting a interesting upgrade, Obsidian Arrows.
Exactly, Obsidian Arrows, we all know about it. Dealing some extra damage against buildings that adds up quite heavily. You know, it's, in my opinion, to a certain extent, replaces Siege in many situations, because, yeah, you can just tear apart the buildings, go through and kill everything all of a sudden. And that adds up quite heavily, especially if you got the numbers. Is there another hole, my friend? No, there isn't. Okay, at least, but
soon.
Still. Yeah, there will be soon. Exactly, and there it is. He still shouldn't go inside, in my opinion, because you never know what's inside of an enemy base like that. And your army is too precious, despite you having a bonus on these archers cost-wise, but still. He's taking an interesting fight against the skirmishers, which he shouldn't normally, but, well, I guess at this point, better than not taking it. But he's also losing a lot of crossbows, replacing it at the same time. Now the question is, what is Yo gonna do against this? He needs potentially, I guess, a siege workshop by himself. But I'm not seeing this. Instead, he wants to go for a castle, it seems.
Where is Yo's army? Yo is not have... He does not have a lot of army.
Non-existent, man. 3 units in total. That's insane. And one of which is a monk, so wow. Yeah, what you want to do? The watchtower even won't even save you. Just saying. If there's enough crossbows, even the watchtower will crumble. And that's the plan, because a lot more crossbows are in the making, as well as rams, interestingly.
Well, I have to think. So Yo spent a lot of resources getting a castle, which is not too useful as the Aztecs. Probably spent a lot of resources on different upgrades for eagles, and then perhaps wasted a lot on a lot of those demos. Only one of the demos got a good shot on the crossbows, and really it wasn't necessary, because the skirmishers countered the crossbows anyway. So maybe a lot of resources lost on those demos.
Yeah. PopCap saying ACCM is playing like a boss. It's certainly quite nice how he does it. Everything that Yo tries to offer, ACCM has a response for. Even though now this interesting fight against the Mangonel is not the nicest, but that's just because he's too busy. I understand. He still needs to take care of this forward siege workshop by Yo, and then he has more of space inside of his mind to actually plan the next step, because as you can see, there's enough stone for ACCM. Another castle is going to be dropped.
Yeah, and that's a perfect position for ACCM. We're not even worrying about that hill on the right side because Yo has no army at all. And now we're going to go to a trap war where one of the players has 2 castles and one of them is on top of the hill. So this is a very good position for ACCM. Again, going back to that excellent defense earlier in this game, this was, I thought Yo was going to take this game early, and now it looks like ACCM, partly through a few mistakes of Mr. Yo, is in a great position to take it.
It's really a good situation that he is in. Now you're going for the defensive castle. As you mentioned, what use of that one as Aztecs? Of course, you're now trying to defend yourself, potentially also going for the trap. That is really important. Both players are going for the Imp H, 4 seconds difference, not the hugest thing there difference-wise, and ACCM still has a majority of the areas of the map in his hands. And nice army on the right hand side, nice army on the left hand side, surrounding Yo like that. The castle is gonna help Yo, but the question is for how long? Because I feel that ACCM might gonna go forward even further on.
So one area of weakness that I'm looking at for ACCM, ACCM is not really making plumed archers. He's continuing with the archers that he's going with. So those will be more vulnerable to the very strong skirmishers of the Aztecs, but they'll also be more vulnerable to Elite Eagle Warrior if we ever see that upgrade.
Yeah, true. That's true. I mean, it might be the chance for Yo. That's a good observation. Let's keep that in mind. And also Yo went for Atlatl. Wants to go for stronger skirmishes in this case. That's also a good thing. The question is, of course, is ACCM going to make a lot of economical damage so Yo is not going to be able to afford these things, such as the Eagle Warrior line? Because at this point, he just has +1 on the infantry. He is too busy now dealing with the Arbalest now. Very soon with Bracer. He needs more time, he needs more resources.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe the resources instead of going to Elite Skirmisher might have been better. Oh, geez, look at the raid at the north! Forgot what I was saying.
I just saw it in the north. That's actually over, man.
Ooh.
I mean, we're still talking about 79 voters to 89, but that was really unnecessary and really bad for Yo.
Yeah, he was not paying attention there. And now the town center on the right's going to get idled as well. There's more army coming in from the south. That might be the game. I was going to say that I think maybe the resources might have been better spent on the Eagle Warrior upgrades. But it's going to be hard to afford those things when you just lost 15 villagers.
Exactly. It's going to be way too hard. I mean, it wasn't really that beautiful before he lost them, and now it's even worse. And the thing is, with Eagle Warriors, they are awesome against ranged units, such as the crossbow line and then Arbalest. But once you have chemistry, and this is something that ACCM gets, it's going to be really tough to actually deal with it. Because then I feel that they're getting slightly the edge when it comes to damage output. But yeah, it's not going to go there anyway. Yo cannot speak of he cannot provide us with any kind of economy to go for this kind of strat. Instead, it's just more about the skirmishes as well as cap ramps now, whereas ACCM's still doing the old thing. Arbalest and now traps.
The only way I see Mr. Yo getting back in this game is if ACCM makes a big error, and I think that big error would be not making another unit to add to his army composition. So it's either going to be Eagles or Rams, or maybe even Plumed Archers for ACCM to seal the game up. If he doesn't make those units, then there's a chance for Mr. Yo to come back, but otherwise, ACCM should have this game.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's going to be really tough to get out of this. ACCM has all the control. Dut says once the stone is over, Yo's going to resign, and the stone is now over. There's not much that Yo can offer at this point. He's losing what's inside of his base very soon. A lot of trebuchets for it in total. Now the crossbows, the Arbalest, I'm sorry, going for another raid on the right hand side of Yo's base. A lot of foes are dying once again, and that is just too bad. We're talking about 65 villagers to 102. And 12 military versus 37. Yeah, I don't see too many options for Yo anymore.
Yeah, with that many villagers down, then that's certainly going to be a victory for ACCM. And really nice gameplay from ACCM, really nice defense. Mr. Yo making a few mistakes at every stage of the game. And ACCM capitalizing on those for the first victory in this Swiss stage.
Insane. It's insane. I mean, I found that ACCM has a terrible map in the beginning, as we pointed out with the resources, but he just didn't allow it to become a huge disadvantage for him. He instead used it as an opportunity to play it as aggressive as possible, to defend what Yo had to offer. Yo also, as you mentioned, with some rather strange decisions. I mean, the ideas were good, but the way how he executed them, especially this one tower that he wanted to drop to attack the gold from the south, with just 3 villagers and 1 archer. He got surprised by the enemy units, and then he even lost the tower without deleting it. He had to go for stone again. That was already a bad start for what's happened in Castle Age. All in all, great performance by ACCM, and Yo, unfortunately, not powerful enough with the execution. That's the first game.
Yeah, so you have those golds there right away, so that's going to be convenient if you're the Malay and you want to go like men-at-arms archers. That'll be convenient for you, but at the same time, the Mongol scouts are going to be super great on this map because of how open the map is, because of where the wood lines are, and that kind of thing.
Yep.
So it's really kind of, I don't know, there's advantages and disadvantages to both these civilizations. As far as water goes, if we ever get to harbors, they'll be very strong for the Malay, so late game looks good for them. But there's a lot of different advantages and disadvantages you can have at every stage of this matchup for this particular map. It's very complicated, and yeah, this is why I love Age of Empires 2, especially with new maps.
Most definitely, I couldn't agree more with what you've just said, because we've seen something in the previous matchup with Leader Core. There was a difference in what they've done with the woodlines, for instance. This time, ACCM and Yo both take the woodlines closest to their base. I mean, to the outer part of the map, that is, of course, to have it somewhat safe. Before that one, we've seen also one player going for the woodlines on the edge of the map, because it's practically safer when it comes to aggression by the boats. But this time we have a similar situation, and interestingly, okay, we have this mill by ACCM here, who takes the water as well. That's beautiful.
Well, with the mill, he's going to get more food right now, so he'll probably have a faster feudal age because of that mill.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, Mr. Yo is going to have more food after he clicks up to feudal age, because he's going to have more food gathering units in general due to the fishing ships.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's interesting. That, once again, 2 different options, but it suits ACCM with the Mongols that he has, getting Loom right now. He has 18 villagers and probably going to click up very soon, and then it will be some scouts aggression. For that one, Yo, best advice to palisade himself up at least his main resources. Some resource walls could be helpful, unless he has different plans. ACCM is going to be up at 855, and then I strongly assume we'll see the scouts.
And 1 villager on stone for ACCM, I do wonder what that is about.
Ah, straggled some stone there, huh? Interesting. Not so sure what that is, if that's on purpose, because it's going back to the stone, so it's not necessarily straggling it, but, oh no, he actually, wait, now he's going back. Okay, mining camp. Okay, towers, maybe, then? Strongly assume, tower?
Maybe just 2 defensive towers? That's a very unusual strategy.
Indeed. I mean, fine. Okay,
I can't tell. I don't think I've ever seen going up to feudal age. I want 2 defensive towers.
Maybe that's gonna be some offensive towers, because
all right, yeah, makes more sense.
Right? I mean, it could be defensive, it could be offensive. We can only tell this once we see the villagers moving. In this case, probably it makes sense to go forward. But what does ACCM know? If we look at his POV, does he want to drop the tower in front of the dock? Could be nice. To disrupt the food income there, because that was what you've mentioned, right? Yo will have more food in the later part of the game due to having more food gathering units, but this is something that ACCM wants to do, actually prevents now, and the first tower is going up.
First tower right on top of the dock? This is so risky. Imagine if a demo came out right away. But I think the tower's going to get up in time, and this is such a risky move from ACCM, and it looks like it's going to pay off.
Yeah, I'm just comparing the watchtower uptime and the fire galley. Indeed, the tower's going to be up in a convenient time. That's so sick, man. I love it.
It is, and consider the fact that he's playing against Malay also. This would not work if he was not if ACCM was playing as a different civilization. The strategy would just not work at all.
He's now walling up and retreating with the villagers before the fire galley even went up. This is insane timing, man. Just saying, insane timing.
And now ACCM's going over to the land where those villagers will be safe because Mr. Yo does not have any. He doesn't have any land military buildings aside from a barracks.
Perfect idea by ACCM. Just be careful with this one villager. That's unnecessary. Yep. Secure it. Okay, all safe. Just a tiny little cosmetic mistake there, but all good. That was a really powerful idea. Now he even has the scouts, just for the record, right? So that's not all. The tower was beautiful, forced the fishing boats to retreat, new dock is very much needed, and now it is time for scouts to take care of the land.
And what is Yo doing? Yo is adding a stable of his own? Does this make any sense?
Yeah, why does he do this? Why does he try to copy? Counter raids? Okay, I guess. We'll see. Not so convinced by it. I like the spearmen more. We'll see what's gonna happen next. But so far, I'm really impressed by ACCM. And he's not stopping, by the way. Look at the other villagers. This is why he was on stone, right? Second tower is gonna go up. Oh my god, so toxic, man. I love it. I love it, man.
This is this is precision from ACCM. These towers are in the perfect spot. Just the way the towers work with this particular map. Now the villagers are safe on land, and ACCM's got a scout rush. This is just perfection.
Whoa, be careful though. Look at this one. Come on, man. ACCM can prevent this from happening. Damn it. He should have walled, my friends. But yeah.
Yeah, but ACCM's going to bring his scouts back. It's going to be hard with those two spearmen in there. And let's see even if this tower gets up. It's on 96.5.
Come on, man. Could have. It was such
up?
a perfect plan.
Oh no!
99.9%, man. Unlucky.
Oh man!
At the same time, though, sorry to say this, but he could have prevented this. He could have just dropped 1 or 2 palisades, and then it would have gone up, man. Oh my god, man. ACCM 99.9%, man. Damn it.
Oh man, I would be surprised. No, you got to abandon the tower. That would have been such a great tower for ACCM. That might have been the game, honestly.
For sure.
That last 0.01% might be the game.
Damn, man. It's so unfortunate because I really fell in love with what ACCM just showed us in this game. It was so calculated. And now
look at the tower. It's 1020 over 1020 health. I've never seen that before.
Yo, dude, that's true.
That's crazy. I've never seen that before.
Oh, it now lost 1 HP due to the tower attacking, but yeah, what is this, man?
Oh man, what a crazy moment. Let's take a step back, see where we're at right now. We have 28 villagers for ACCM. Yo with 33. Yo taking the villager lead after that misplay from ACCM.
This could be really painful. Of course, Age of Empires is a forgiving game if you do economical mistakes and whatnot, but nice explosion there. But the scouts are still there. They're all low HP though, so ACCM needs to be careful to go to spots where he can actually deal some damage without running into a spearman. Nearly happened there. So the question now is what to do in ACCM's position. You done messed up. He's on gold now for the records. And what does he do with that? Just water. He's now going for fire galleys.
Yeah, it seems like even though ACCM has a score lead, well, just switch back now, but it looks like ACCM is probably a bit behind. He doesn't have the fishing ships. He doesn't have as many villagers. It's not even close, really. And he doesn't have horse collar. So ACCM is behind. Probably is going to want to do some damage with his scouts, which are around. He's not really building any more scouts. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see something in Castle Age from him. He's got 320 stone in the bank.
Yeah. I mean, of course, Mangudai vs boats will be quite nice in this tournament. But this is unfortunate. You mentioned something really important when he dropped the first tower. This is quite risky, and I agree, because if you fail with this strategy, you are in a situation that ACCM is right now, and that is, of course, not ideal at all. And now it is Yo's time to actually strike back, in my opinion, and he does that by actually delivering quite nice army here. 3 scouts, 3 spearmen, archers in the making, fire galleys in the making, and 8 villagers advantage at this point.
Well, we have 2 archery ranges coming up from ACCM, so that's going to be the mainstay of his army. Perhaps a few fire galleys there. Mr. Yo has a lot of momentum, especially with those scouts. Hopefully ACCM can defend for the time being, and we'll see this matchup go into the Castle Age.
Would be nice if this game is not over yet. It's still tough though, gotta be honest. ACCM is really heavily behind. If we look at the resources, he does have a lot of gold, he doesn't have too much wood. He's still on stone, as you've mentioned, so of course Castle Age shenanigans, probably Castle's gonna be dropped at some point later in the game if we make it till there. For now it's going to be archers, it seems, because the second archer range is in the making as well. I see no blacksmith yet though, and instead just Yo scouts trying to find some innocent villagers, but the spearmen are there as well to protect.
As long as ACCM doesn't take any more losses, then he should be fairly close with Mr. Yo and going into the next age. I did notice, look at the right side, there's a mill with ACCM. Yo's just about to find it, and those could be some dead villagers.
Oh my god, and there we go. What are these villagers doing there? Up in the danger zone. I mean, it's just 2 scouts, fair enough, but once the archers are there as well, these villagers should retreat for sure. Now it's time to go.
I was gonna say before the scouts showed up, this is a really good boost to ACCM's food economy, because that ACCM has a lot of food in the bank right now, although he'll lose 1 more villager, perhaps 2 now. So he's got the food in the bank, but now he's gonna lose even more villagers.
Yeah, that's awful. That's awful. I mean, now ACCM is really heavily falling behind. He's trying to make the best out of the situation, but now idle time, losing more villagers. It just adds up at this point, and this is really bad. And this engagement now on the left-hand side, by the way, archers, fire galleys versus fire galleys and scouts, and it seems that Yo is taking over here.
Yeah, certainly. Luckily, those fire galleys can't go on the land, so it might not be GG for that reason. I don't see a lot of archers from Yo, and archers are really the thing to fear, in my opinion, not so much the scouts. So I think that Yo's going to go to the Castle Age now. He's going to get a lot of upgrades. He's going to put on a lot of pressure. If ACCM can weather the storm and get a castle up and go for his unique unit, then he'll be in a good shot to maybe come back. But if not, Yo might finish out the game in the next few minutes.
It could definitely be. Yo's the one clicking up now, and ACCM's resources, well, he is going to click up very soon as well. So he's not going to be behind heavily when it comes to the Castle Age uptime. But it is nearly 10 villagers difference that we're talking about between the 2 economy-wise. Yo has the clear advantage, and also the map seems to be under control, at least to a certain extent, at least for Yo. Questions, of course, being what is the next step. For ACCM, it's quite evident, I would say, even though I'm not seeing any more villagers on stone form anymore. A castle would have been nice. Let's see if we're gonna go there, because doesn't look too promising. Yo is now on the next stage, going for crossbowmen. As you said, it makes more sense to go for this kind of units, because then the bolts become more obsolete. We'll see. It will be a tough challenge for ACCM.
Here we go, crossbowmen upgrade coming in. Where are the crossbows from Yo? I think they're back at home. So that's at least going to buy ACCM a little bit of time. ACCM with his archers on the front, just trying to defend as best as possible. Looks like ACCM will be up to the Castle Age, but will he have enough time to place down a castle where he wants it? Well, he's still quite a bit away from getting a castle out, so I guess he's going to have to rely on those crossbows. Or future
and even
crossbows.
an elephant. Beautiful melee elephant, super cheap, getting the +1 armor upgrade. Could be a nice momentum if he just uses this one correctly, but I'm not so sure. Nevertheless, ACCM still needs more time until he is there. Castle Age, and more elephants are actually being produced. Interesting choice by Yo.
Well, unintentionally, ACCM is kind of luring a few crossbows on the left of Mr. Yo out of position. Almost Mr. Yo didn't see it, but now he sees it. Here's the crossbow and fletching upgrade. Are they going to be upgraded in time before they get caught by the crossbows of Yo?
I think he can do it, even though Yo's coming really close.
Oh, and Yo's not paying attention. Gonna lose.
Ooh!
Oh! Both those crossbows surviving.
Crazy.
Yeah, both crossbows on very low HP. That was a nice engagement from Yo, but crossbow is now in for ACCM.
That's important. That's important. Keep as many units alive for ACCM because he's behind. He has the more valuable units, so to speak, because he must not lose any further, because otherwise just the discrepancies is going to be too hard to deal with. Another TC being added here, just looking at both pairs, 2 TCs for now. That's good. And it seems that ACCM wants to build up pressure. I like the attitude, but let's see how realistic his chances are, because he's facing quite some army in the north here in the map. A lot of crossbows by Yo, as well as galley and even scouts. He has quite a repertoire, so to speak. If we look at the army numbers, 19 to 30.
Yeah, ACCM is definitely behind. He can't afford to lose any more army. He's got a little bit of a hill. He's really trying to get as much as he can with this crossbow army, but he needs to go back, and he needs to keep himself in the game.
Yeah. He sure needs to do that. Just trying to understand what else his plans are. I mean, more and more crossbows, okay, but I feel that there's more to it. He also has a demolition ref, just for the record. Maybe he's waiting for a nice spot to attack. But both pairs are taking their times now, interestingly. No one is going for some super aggression. Yo, for instance, he prepares himself with more and more elephants and cleans up the mess in the middle of the map. And now maybe some contact with the elephant and the crossbows in the middle. And also the army on the left-hand side. So Yo is approaching.
Yeah, that's a lot of elephants for ACCM. I don't know if he can handle this with just crossbows. He might have to drop a monastery pretty soon.
Yeah, would be nice to have a monastery. But question is he going to be able to afford such a composition? Also, the question, more and more demolition rafts? No, he cancelled it now, interestingly. He now goes for war galley. ACCM is changing his idea. Not so sure how well this is gonna go.
Yeah, we have 3 town centers for each player. We have about a 15 vil lead for Mr. Yo. So ACCM has not only got to defend, he's also got to eventually go on the aggressive and get some lucky raids. Maybe that's what the demos are for. But he's got to defend, and he's got to do the damage too.
Yeah, true indeed. Also, economy upgrade-wise, ACCM, no wheelbarrow, no further upgrade, no bow saw. Sick. That's sick.
Yeah. Oh well, here's that lucky demo, but it's not going to be so lucky today because those crossbows are stuck on the land.
Yeah. And that's the issue with this map. Demo's not necessarily working because you can retreat quite easily. Well, yeah. So let's check it out. ACCM tries to address the problem to the south of the zone base, dealing with the elephants nicely. But besides that, not so sure. He's best advised to actually get some eco upgrades because it will be even tougher to catch up with Yo getting handcart very soon. It's not healthy, obviously, so we'll see where this is going. But Yo has the upper hand for sure.
Yeah, with Yo's better economy, he's able to afford the better upgrades. Now has handcart and ballistics. Those are 2 big upgrades. And man, ACCM, you have to get lucky here. Get lucky with something. Is the demo going to hit? It's going to weaken the crossbows a little bit.
That was a nice one. Quite some damaged units. If you look at the HP, well, there's still the elephants, of course. You need to be careful with that one. But we're talking about melee elephants. They are not the tankiest of all. So yeah, but they now have husbandry, as we can see, and this is really bad for ACCM.
Yeah, those elephants are doing quite a bit of work on those crossbows. Only 2 or 3 hits to kill a crossbow, so they have to get out of there. And not a lot of army for ACCM. It's been whittled down. Mr. Yo as well is building a castle, and very good position for Mr. Yo.
Yeah, true indeed. That castle's going to be nice because it also secures the gold, zones off the stone to the right, and with that one he can just push further on. That's his style, I believe. So he's harassing as much as possible to the south, but he doesn't neglect the north and slowly pushes with a consistent way of just going forward. The castle, and then probably he's going to add more to that. He's just gaining more and more ground, so to speak. Adding those arch ranges in front of the castle. It's going well.
Well, one thing that ACCM's done well, at least, is he's continued to add crossbows, has been building crossbows this entire time, and might be able to get a good cleanup on the army of Mr. Yo. Of course, this is only a fraction of, what Mr. Yo has to offer, as far as, the damage he could do, but at least cleaning this up will be something. Those elephants, though, still quite deadly.
Yeah, true. It's a tough one for sure. As I said, it's just a fraction here that he can deal with. It's not necessarily solving the entire situation. 70 villagers to 96. No wheelbarrow. We are in minute 35. No bow saw. Yo is going to MPLH. That's really bad. ACCM is not going to be able to catch up like that.
Yeah, another army moving for Mr. Yo on the right side. Mr. Yo up into the Imperial Age. With that, all he needs really is perhaps maybe just Arbalest and Bracer, and that'll be strong enough. ACCM going with the Siege Workshop, not really going to work against Arbalest. And ACCM as well, running out of gold on his middle island.
Yeah, as I said, it just Arbalest. Get the brace upgrades. And yeah, what you want to do if you're just stuck in Castle Age, if you look at the economy at ACCM, no way on earth he's going to go to Imperial Age. This might be even GG.
Yeah, it's definitely GG.
Right? And what do you want to do against this?
Yeah, it's definitely GG. Mr. Yo did not make any mistakes this time. He did not... This was actually a pretty clean game with him overall, aside from maybe the scout play, which I thought was a little weird, but that ended up being somewhat effective anyway.
Yeah.
And here's that Imperial Age.
So what's going to happen? Villagers are dying to the southeast. Interestingly, no real reaction by ACCM. Tries to...
ACCM's reactions to get wheelbarrow.
At least, man.
Oh, he needs bowsaw too. Ooh.
Yeah. That's the beauty of it. Minute 38. Yeah, so that's not gonna work. But I asking myself what ACCM is thinking now. I mean, as in what kind of ambitions he has at this point. Rather go for the next game, save up the energy, save up the clear minds, and go for a cleaner next game, because it's obviously quite of an unfortunate situation with this 99.9% tower. I mean, we talked about it. Imagine what it could have done, right? So that's one thing. But now at this point, I don't see many reasons for ACCM to continue playing.
Yeah, he's this is going to be one of the greatest comebacks of all time if I ever see it. Especially with ACCM still not clicking into the Imperial Age, still nowhere near it, really.
Nowhere
near
near it. There's not even a move towards that, just a bit of food that he has. Yeah, it's GG. There we go. Okay.
And the thing is, this was almost a victory for ACCM within the first maybe 5 or 10 minutes of the game. And just that little tiny percent on that tower, that might have changed the game.
Might have changed the game indeed. That's true, man. It could have been so beautiful, but no quick walling, interestingly, and just the tower up. I don't know why he did this. You know, he saw how Yo was making the counter tower. Maybe he was panicking, as in, or not panicking, but just estimating that if he just spends the time for the villagers to build the palisades to prevent any enemy villagers to come close, tower wouldn't have gone up in time compared to the tower of Yo, that is, and then he would have lost the situation. But yeah, it was the wrong decision. But for us observers, it's always easier to see things like that. And yeah, ACCM did what he did. It wasn't enough. He did the wrong thing. And Yo with a good second game, equalizing the score, and it's now even Steven. Time for game number 3.
Yes, time for game number 3. Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to game 3 in the Swiss stage. Some very excellent games between these two players. Whoever wins this series is going to go on to the next round. I'm joined here with Demise Red, and let's see if there's going to be any early laning, as there often is on this kind of map.
Yeah, I just saw the map as you started speaking, and I was already shaking my head. It's this map again.
It's this
and
map?
Indeed, Salt War. Yeah, it's insane. This map is insane. But yeah, let's go for it. Everything calm, relatively calm, because we've seen way more crazy things so far. But still, the scouts are in the enemy territory, and now meeting up again in the middle. It's a bit of a dance they have here.
Yeah, and ACCM almost stealing those buffaloes. Somehow Mr. Yo was able to bring them back. I didn't think he would be able to. Lumberline in the north for Yo. ACCM is going to pick his Lumberline pretty soon. And we have a Britons and Malians war. Which civilization do you think might have the advantage?
Well, Britons have been chosen on this map because they can be seen as straightforwards, good field edge aggression, water buffaloes giving them quite a nice boost to go for the field edge as soon as possible. You can just drop archer ranges, move forwards, and attack, but you're facing the Malians. And when it comes to economy, they save so much wood, their water game therefore can be enhanced, so their economy can be enhanced. But then again, when it comes to the later part of the game, I feel that Melons shine with... Oh my god. Man.
Oh!
Oh my god, man.
Oh!
Yeah, okay, so, being down 2 buffaloes, maybe a third one, is really unfortunate. There we go. TC, unfortunately, going for some friendly fire. Yeah, happens. Bad start. Yo with the advantage. That was a good interruption. Scout's still alive. And it seems that ACCM, even with less HP here, 15 to 11, a bad start for ACCM, it seems. I think the early game might be in Yo's hands.
Yeah, this is a nice early game play. Yo prevented the Buffalo steal early, then got a lot of extra free shots on the scout of ACCM, was able to go into the town center, kill 2 Buffalo, and still has more scout HP overall. Really good start for Mr. Yo.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's looking really great here. What's more, Yo is actually doing some interesting stuff with his villager. There we go, dropping a dock now. Interesting that he dropped it over there in particular. Okay, fair enough though. And in comparison, it is done earlier than ACCM with the Malians.
And going back to that civilization discussion, talking about it. So we saw how strong archers are versus ships. They're very strong against ships in this current balance. So Britons is a good option. But also you mentioned the water buffalo bonus that basically British can gather them faster. It's a really strong eco bonus. And on the other hand, ACCM should in theory be able to get a dock up sooner because he saves a lot of wood on buildings. However, that's not the case as Mr. Yo has the dock up already.
Crazy. I mean, so far ACCM is not going to be able to make use of his bonuses, civ-wise, but instead Yo probably has the big advantage. I mean, the stock thing is quite a huge one. I mean, I wouldn't have expected this. Good for Yo, because ACCM probably at this point not having too many advantages, and that's not good for him, obviously. Looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next. The scout is about to be taken down, as we can see.
Yeah, it looks like Yo's going to get that scout. I see no situation in which that scout of ACCM wins, unless he gets it. No, even a hill wouldn't save him.
Oh, there we go. And you see, he went around the corner. It was miraculously taken down. Beautiful. However that mechanic works, it worked, and that's that. ACCM has lost his scout. He is legit in the dark, so to speak. At least, if we look at his vision, he knows where his opponent is. Well, jokes aside, not so good for him. It will be tough to actually... I mean, he doesn't know about the enemy dock position, for instance. That's something. That's not good. And Yo is already going for the next stage, as expected earlier, with the shepherd bonus that he has. He has 19 villagers and 3 fishing boats. And that is going to be an advantage. The barracks is in the making. I see an archer range in the making very soon as well.
It appears that Mr. Yo was just first game, just warming up. Second and third game, he's looked absolutely perfect. And Mr. Yo is going to have a huge advantage going into this feudal age.
Yeah. Adal is saying only answer now is a douche. Well, that would be cool if someone would have picked the Persians here. Imagine that. But unfortunately, John Slow doesn't play. Rubenstock doesn't play here in this tournament. Unfortunate. But here we go. So the players are moving out to the sites for the mining camps. And that is going to be relevant for the boats as well. Once we see fire galleys or galleys, probably fire galleys. It will be interesting. And what is Yo doing with the other set of villagers, by the way? 4 villagers dropping a really close by archer range. That is hugely suspicious. This doesn't seem like purely archers there. Why 4 villagers, man? Why 4 villagers?
Well, it's probably going to be a tower. I really worry about that archer range because I can imagine ACCM placing a tower right on top of it, and the tower will be protected by the town center. But we're going to see Mr. Yo place down the tower right now. This is, again, another risky move from Mr. Yo. Let's see if it pays off. ACCM is not quite in the feudal age yet.
Damn, man, damn. Thank you for the subs, Peppers, man. Really appreciate it. But what is this? Yo! Really, really risky. And ACCM has seen it, but there we go. It's successful. As he is retreating, going to his TC.
Oh!
Probably just...
Oh!
Oh, the TC is actually firing. Oh, there we go. But it was not enough. It was not enough.
Who would have known that would have been within range of the town center?
Yeah, I guess this is, ACCM wasn't even aware of this himself, but now it's too late. Tower's up. And so is the blacksmith also in the making very soon. House even placed in a nice position just to make sure, you know, it will be a bit more awkward for potential villagers to go back on this wood line, which will not be the case. But look at ACCM's response. Dropping his own tower. But Yo's response, oh my god, man, so on fleek. Oh my god, man.
ACCM now dropping down a defensive tower to protect his wood line. It'll protect most of it, but that wood line is not going to last very long. There's not a lot of trees there. ACCM going for the tower on the bottom. There's no archers to protect it. Oh, let's see. Oh, critical time in this game. Action everywhere.
Critical. I mean, I understand ACCM's decisions 100%. That is potentially even the right thing, despite it being super bad for the economy. It's nice for him to understand that it was the right moment to attack with his villagers, right? Because the archers were in the north, and he is now taking care of the archers, but for what price? And also to the south now, there's an enemy archer now already, being able to take care of the villagers of ACCM, and that tower might not... Oh, it went down.
Oh, it went down.
Good.
Okay, so ACCM losing 2 villagers for that tower. ACCM could have made that a lot better by garrisoning the town center, which would have killed the villagers of Yo. And that would have equalized the villagers, but at least ACCM got that tower down. He needs to stay at it. Here's a demo. Demo might kill the archers. No, it's
not possible. At least not for now, but it might happen. Who knows, who knows. The scout is chasing it, interestingly. But the fire galley is there to save the day. That's really good. And ACCM needs to be prepared because it hasn't stopped yet. Yo is continuing. Let me just quickly understand how he is able to sponsor this. Ah, there we go. He's now going to the stone on the left-hand side of the map. Yo is now getting more of income, so he's not able to place another tower, but that is the idea. Getting wheelbarrow now and laying the wood lines, because why not? Interesting and really toxic.
Well, ACCM has an advantage on water. However, the archers of Yo are doing some damage. Here comes that demo once again. So Yo with all the land aggression, and ACCM seems to have a slight advantage on water. But these archers are just doing so much damage.
Yeah, that's insane. As expected, though. You have the Britons on this map. As said, I mean, I still think that archers of the Britons and the bonuses that they receive due to the Civ is one of the more stronger Civ bonuses, military Civ bonuses that we have, because it enhances their strength heavily. The way you can produce them quite fast, the bonuses that they receive throughout the ages, and so on, that is quite huge. There's a lot of potential. And as we know, and you mentioned it as well, you have the bonus against the boats because of the nerfs, because of the balance that we have here. There's a lot of reasons to go for Britons on this map, and I fully understand it. It works well for now. Now it is up to ACCM to deal with the situation, and he at least isn't too far behind, you would say. Villager count is equal, but Yo has wheelbarrow, something to keep in mind. Though still, Yo with the advantage.
ACCM, just the fact that he's still in this game, despite that horrible Dark Age, again, a testament to his skill. ACCM cleaning up a few archers of Mr. Yo. ACCM has a much larger water army, and here's that demo. It's not going to get a hit.
Not possible. A lot of vills also by Yo now being part of the mix. Interesting. Just for the record, another tower is being dropped in the middle of the map by Yo for the sake of the berries, potentially. Why not? Why not? Okay. Yo is still trying to go for it. He's still trying to maximize the damage here. Has lost the villager on the right-hand side to the water units, fire galleys in particular. Interesting. ACCM is still nicely in the game, in my opinion. He can still achieve many things. Needs to be careful. Lost the fire galley.
Well, now ACCM's losing a little momentum on the water as the archers seem to be the superior unit. And ACCM's going to have to stop this before those archers reach his gold.
Yeah, he needs to find a solution to that one, but that's easier said than done. He has at least 3 galleys now. Needs to use them adequately as in keep them together as much as possible, attack as much as possible at the same time, that is. It's easier said than done. Ooh, look at this attempt by Yo, this tower. Oh, come on, man. That's way too ambitious, isn't it?
Just barely. Because I mean, these archers are going to clean up the fire galleys. I think ACCM should have brought his villagers from the stone over to build that tower, but it doesn't matter. The tower's up anyway. And this is going to be another defense from ACCM.
Yeah, that's good for ACCM. At the same time, he pushed... Yo pushed ACCM into actually dropping this defensive tower. So it might be also a disadvantage or a good thing for Yo. But still, it is how it is. And it keeps staying a bit funny or strange. The villagers now close by to the woodline of ACCM, interestingly, having a nice walk there. But the bigger question is, how is ACCM going to stabilize? Because Yo just doesn't give in, does he? He still reinforces more and more archers. It will be more difficult, and another demolition rat is approaching.
Let's see if Mr. Yo's not paying attention this time. It looks like he is. So, no, that demo's not going to get it. But at least ACCM has a few towers in critical positions. Another tower's coming up from ACCM. Although at the expense of another villager.
Yeah. Indeed, it's expense for another villager. It has died. Too bad, too bad. Villager counts 38 to 33. Both have wheelbarrow, 5 villager difference, 3 fishing boats on both sides, and Yo still pulling the trigger here. 12 military versus 2. What to do for ACCM? Mass up as much as possible. That is his idea on water, that is. But more and more towers also on the main island from Yo.
The problem is that these towers just don't protect enough. Mr. Yo going to go with the tower in the north, which will be great. A tower on the bottom right of the main island, which is going to be great for Yo. That's always the problem with towers. They need to be in the perfect position to cover everything, and it's so hard to do that when you're so defensive.
Exactly, and you need to decide quite quickly, especially if you know that if you don't drop your tower as soon as possible, your enemy is going to be there with his own tower. And on top of this one, Yo going to the next stage earlier, significantly earlier than his opponent. As we look at ACCM's resources, he still requires quite some time.
All this investment into stone and towers and the mining camp and everything like that, and all the villagers gone, that has led to Mr. Yo having that much more resources to click up to the next age.
Yeah, so the thing is, I'm trying to find a reason why the game is going the way it is. Yo has studied this map, it seems, better than ACCM, even though ACCM shouldn't have this kind of excuse, because Marshland was the second map of last week or the week before, if I recall correctly. So he has played on this map often enough to actually develop a strategy over here. But this is the home map of Yo, so Yo chose Britons and this map for a particular reason. So let's say ACCM wasn't as prepared, which I think is not a real reason to say, to justify why he's in this very situation. But yes, it's a huge problem. More and more towers by Yo, and I'm not so sure what is going to happen once he reaches Castle Age, especially for ACCM.
Yeah, it looks like this might be another W for Mr. Yo, as these archers are coming around to that wood line, which is almost depleted. And there's Bodcanero. Castle Age is done. ACCM still hasn't clicked. And it looks like we have a repeat situation of last game.
It seems like it. I mean, ACCM he's still gonna try it, because he is fairly protected with his towers. But you've mentioned it. How protected are you on a map like this with towers? It is really tough to find this perfect spot. But he's still trying it seems. He just doesn't want to get into this match point situation, because it will be a tough one. But how realistic are his chances? We have to analyze this. We have to understand. If we look at the villager count, it seems somewhat equal, but it's also Yo being in the next stage and dropping a TC to the very left-hand side. It will be really tough. I mean, ACCM at least needs, I don't know, 30 more seconds to click up, and then he needs to go to Castle Age. That's so much time he still requires. Tough situation.
Yeah, I mean, these towers, they protect some things, but they don't really protect enough. They don't really protect the wood lines, and without wood, you can't win this game. And neither do they protect the stone really on the right side. The range of the Britons is so much.
Yeah, true as well. You have to keep in mind the range. It's just not as efficient. Also, if we look at the wood lines and what is happening on the main islands of ACCM there, it's just That's just awful. That's just awful. Unfortunate. Still hasn't clicked up, has he? ACCM. Why? Doesn't he have the buildings? Is it that very reason? Is he missing? Yeah, he's building a market. Oh my god. Man. Yeah. Yeah.
You'd think you'd have the buildings 28 minutes in.
Yeah, you'd think, but then, you know, reality kicks in and all of a sudden, oops. Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, now ballistics coming in from Mr. Yo, it's quite overkill. You really don't need ballistics right now, but this is
just in case there are a couple of bolts approaching or whatnot, you know.
Yeah, Mr. Yo has to be having a lot of fun right now.
Yeah, for sure. It's his game for now. And ACCM has clicked up. He doesn't want to give up. He thinks maybe it'll be a game changer. We have to keep in mind, Balance and Cast Stage are insane. They have a beautiful tech tree when it comes to it, but it might be way too late now. 47 villagers to 41, 2 TCs. For Yo, food economy is quite nice due to having more fishing boats. Convenient situation.
Yeah, and certainly, sometimes I like to play on a little bit more just to reward my opponent for getting a victory over me. I sometimes I have a lot of fun that way. Maybe that's what ACCM's doing.
So yeah, I'm just curious what ACCM is going to do now. I mean, what's the plan? You know, you see those rams. What is happening over here? I mean, I also try to understand. I'm trying to find the buildings. You know, what could be his idea? Does he want to even? You know, he's not even building stable, no archer range. Does he want to smush even? Is that the idea? I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to look for something. Is there any demo? Maybe he's just hoping for a demo. I mean, maybe he's thinking my opponent. Maybe he doesn't. You know, I don't know how many town centers my opponent has. Maybe he's on one town center. Maybe I just need again another lucky demo.
Yeah, or 2 lucky demos. I know. But that's gonna be tough if you have ballistics. It will be tough to deal with this very situation. I don't see too much now. Just more and more towers and war galley. Just war galley. Okay. But that might be way too late.
Yeah, it's not really a useful upgrade either. I mean, it's good for the demos, I guess.
Pretty much. I wonder what will make ACCM call GG here. What is going to be the main event here? Will give him the final reason.
I think it's going to be when he releases his galleys, and if they're not effective against the crossbows, then that would be it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this would be the opportunity. I mean, these crossbows are out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, true. You can argue like that.
Back.
Indeed. I mean, he has quite some navy in the making. But it's still 7 to 17 military. ACCM is housed. Doesn't look too good. Say the very least here.
But ACCM's getting Bosa. Didn't think about that one, did you?
Yeah. Caught me off guard there, man. I couldn't believe it. What you said.
Well, ACCM's obviously going to win this now. First player to get Bosa.
Man. Yeah, man. Oh, fire ship, by the way. Oh, there's a... At least took down the Mangonel, but we want to see the juicier hits.
Yeah, well.
It just says if ACCM is off gold, he will GG. Well, let's hope that it's going to happen maybe slightly earlier, because for us... Oh, there we go, another fire ship. Well, he's taking down the siege. Good, that's good. Oh, now more navy. 4 fire galleys out of the dock. What is going to happen? More and more docks by ACCM. Interesting.
Well, assuming that the fire galleys aren't going to be somewhat effective against the crossbow, or the fire galleys get a good raid, you still have to worry about this, 25 villager difference. Of course, ACCM, all he knows is the score. He hasn't scouted the town center, so he doesn't know that Mr. Yo is at such a big economy advantage.
I mean, you can anticipate this maybe, when you are behind.
Yeah, but there's no way of really knowing.
True. Yeah, you're right. Let's view it like this, you're right. We can't argue like that. But yeah, that's the situation that Chris was mentioning. The gold now being taken away, as in it's being pressured. And it seems that ACCM might run out of important resources. Which will, of course, hinder his further plans.
One lone villager for ACCM making his way around. Oh no, it's just to repair the galley. I thought it was for something sneaky.
Yeah, I was going to say, man.
One thing that, I mean, just throwing it out there, but one thing maybe ACCM could do would be drop a stable in the back and try to raid with knights.
Yeah, that's always an option, especially with the Malians. You know, they have this nice potential. Also for the later part of the game, that's the cavalry might be of some good importance, but I wants to play the safe game now, adding a third TC even. Tries to maybe boom as much as possible.
I think if he were to come back somehow in this game, it would be through like some monster raids, not really through booming it.
Yeah, I think so as well.
It's really not going to be through booming.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how long he's gonna try. I mean, he's now successfully producing the the war galleys. And what is Yo doing in the north? Is that a castle that is gonna be dropped very soon? I strongly think so. Yo is also going for Imperial Age. Yeah, I think within the next 2 minutes it might be over here. There we go. The castle now in the making, nice position. There's no way to delay this one, or look at these war galleys now. Nah, not with these crossbowmen.
Yeah, not with this balance. I don't think. Tower coming up from ACCM. The castle might be too far built. It's 60%. These dogs are still making units. No, the castle's got to be up.
80%. Yeah, that thing is gonna go up. I think that's gonna be the deal of the deal. There we go. Ah, he's not giving up, man. Ambitious.
Yeah, well, perhaps Mr. Yo is going to go into mistake mode, in which case ACCM might have a shot. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy, crazy.
Really, I think when we talk about players that play too long, it's really not a mistake on the players. I think it's more of a, it's just a product of the game. This game is so hard to actually 100% close out the game with a conquest that it always, you know, we always say it's like the players, but really I think it's just, you know, nature of the game. That these games can drag out just because of how difficult it is to actually close out a game.
Absolutely correct, and if we keep in mind also the psychological background, this is the last game of the Swiss stage. If you lose this matchup, yeah, well, you're out of a $10,800 tournament. As far as I understood, the qualifiers already get around $400 to be just qualified, if you know what I'm saying. And that is quite, I mean, for me personally, I would,
nice.
Yeah, I would definitely
For
try
5
as much
series.
as possible.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
$80 a series.
Yeah, exactly. It's awesome. But it's GG now. ACCM has understood and has now given up here on this game. And you know, now he's behind. It's 2-1. It's match point game for his opponent. And if his opponent was to win it, of course he would be out. And that I understand ACCM going for a long game like that. Let's hope that he's going to win the next one, because I would love to see deathmatch today. So we'll see, we'll see.
Yeah, I
So
certainly
let's
hope so
make
as
it
well.
happen. Welcome everyone. Damage Red here together with the big Nabowski 41. And we have Portuguese versus Italians as expected. ACCM to the south with the Portuguese. Nice map, by the way, just strictly pointing out that he's close to he is attached to the edge. And then Yo in the north with the Italians.
Yeah, Yo playing as Italians. Both, you know, Italians will typically is known as the better water civilization, will get a faster uptime. However, the Portuguese get more HP on all their ships, and their ships as well cost a little bit less gold. This is a very nice map for ACCM, as he's going to have easy time defending that area in the front. Of course, the fishing ships will have to go in the front area as well, so that could be a potential weakness, especially with Mr. Yo going with a early rush, playing as the Italians.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen this matchup enough to know which civilization will be better. Late game, I definitely like the Portuguese because of that extra HP and armor, potentially. But early game, it should be all Italians.
I say so as well. So, as we praise the map of ACCM, I'm just slightly anxious with the golds and stones to the front. Just saying, you know, they're quite to the front, right? Just saying. I mean, it could be a potential weak spot.
Yeah, but I worry
besides
about
that-
the fish more so, I think,
Yeah,
for ACCM.
that's true. That's the bigger immediate issue there. You're absolutely correct with that one. I'm also glad that we finally have some Komodo dragons part again of this map. So let's get out those roars or whatever sound they make, right? In the chat. That's always important. With the little Dracons type.
Go ahead, go ahead. Demise is encouraging you to, whatever the sound of a Komodo dragon is, make sure you put it in the chat.
Yeah, man. So that's beautiful. Ooh, we just see one triggered Komodo dragon here on the bottom of the wood line here of ACCM. Already early harassment by Gaia. That's beautiful.
And ACCM going to bring back a villager right away, so reacting very quickly. Of course, ACCM needs to win the next 2 games. Mr. Yo just needs to win one of the next 2 games to advance the next round. And as he said, $400 if you get to the next round of the tournament.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. So that's definitely a more convenient situation for you, obviously. And as you said it, the dog is now being dropped for ACCM pretty far away to the fronts. Quite far away, whereas Yo conveniently places it right now. So there's a few seconds advantage for Yo. Not that it's going to matter too much when it comes to the economy, but still the position of the dog quite crucial there. Villager is in danger. Yo could now try to harass, but at least ACCM pays attention and has his own scout close by. Just look at the scouting information. ACCM doesn't have any clue, at least for now. Yo is going into the absolutely correct position. He now sees where ACCM's base is, but hasn't found out about the dog. But
Oh, boy.
might be that the villager will have some unwanted guests.
Yeah, that villager doesn't have loom. Luckily, ACCM does bring back a scout at the right time. Yo's not going to go for the villager.
Good reaction by Yo as well, not to engage, just directly go away.
That was almost a disaster for ACCM, but that villager should get back and should be able to.
For sure. But
make
still,
some
some
resources.
idle time because, well, so far away from their own base, whereas Yo doesn't have this kind of situation. Good for him. And we can expect Yo to click up earlier.
Oh no! Oh no! ACCM can't see the deep fish. He's taking the box turtles.
Oh, good observation there. Indeed, he just misses it there. On the right-hand side. Yeah, well, at least he's getting it now, but he takes the one that is more far away, I guess. Oh no, or does he go for some scouting? Nah, he gets the...
I think he's gonna take the
One.
far away tuna.
Unfortunate. That's not good. I mean, if we compare it to Yo, for instance, so nice, so comfy there. That's definitely gonna add up in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, absolutely, because you're not gonna want any villagers on food. You're gonna want all your villagers on wood and gold. So you want as much food as you can from the fish.
Absolutely correct. So there we have it. But wait a second. No, it's just me and my way of not understanding how to read some graphs. Yo is up earlier. I don't know why I always think that he's up later if the graph is... I don't know, it's just me and my mathematical...
Because you think the top one would be first.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. That was different in the original PKZ one, right? The graph.
I don't know.
Top one was always the one clicking up first. Well, anyway. So yeah, it confuses me.
You're not
but it's
crazy.
just- so glad to hear this, at least
just
for
joking.
once a day. John Still, thanks for the host. We appreciate it, Habibi. Thank you. And here we are. So, Yo's going to be up first. But ACCM, not intimidated, adding his own secondary dog over here. Do I see a second one? Do you see a second one by Yo at this point? Not yet, right?
No, not quite yet, but Mr. Yo will have a little bit of an uptime advantage. It's not that big, to be quite honest. It's only about... Oh, actually, it's a minute. Yeah, that's kind of significant. So, ACCM's going to have to survive for the time being. Mr. Yo knows exactly where the dock is, and I have the feeling not a lot of these fishing ships are going to survive. And that's pretty bad, especially because ACCM does not have as much food as he'd normally have.
Yeah, so that's gonna be an interesting situation. 2 docks finally on both sides, so the Fire Galley War will start, and as you said it, an advantage for Yo timing-wise that can be quite significant. Alright, so of course both pairs best advised to do their best on the water now and to protect their shipping the ships, that is, shipping boats, fishing ships, that is. 3 boats for ACCM, 4 boats for Yo for now, and ACCM losing the scout, interestingly. Okay, okay. At least now and not sooner. And a 3rd dog being added by ACCM for the record, so he's potentially aware of him being in a spot where he needs to reinforce heavier because he's slightly behind due to the Italian's bonus. But what is this by Yo? He doesn't engage. He's getting some free hits on his first and very important fire galley. What is
Yes,
this?
and the second one is in the perfect position for ACCM as well. So nice early defense from ACCM. That's exactly what he needed.
So strange, and it's definitely really good for ACCM. Yo understands this, and now he's just retreating. He doesn't even try to go for any kind of engagement. What is it? He's taking that fight. Interesting.
Yeah, and also I don't like from Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo did not send the second galley to attack the fishing ships. ACCM using both fire galleys to take out the 1 galley of Yo. Yo should have gone straight to the fishing ships.
Yeah, to
and instead Yo's
make
defending.
use of the situation. Yeah, absolutely correct. Strange, to say the least. Okay.
And just like that, you know, much more even game all of a sudden. Now ACCM could go on the aggressive. He's taken out 1 fire ship. ACCM also walling in the right side.
Really good. Both players are walling. That's really important for the mid and late part of the game. But interesting to see that ACCM is now the aggressor. It's way more equalized now.
And actually, think about this. So, Mr. Yo got no advantage from that faster uptime, and now every galley of ACCM has 10 more HP.
Oh yeah, and also,
it's cheaper.
He's gonna trade better like that with the Portuguese bonus, so that's good. It's really, really good.
Yeah, and here's the first demo. This is a perfect time for a demo, but not a very good shot. But oh, here's the demo.
Okay, important. I mean, Yo has the defender's advantage. He's at home. He can reinforce easier. He is producing another demolition raft. So is his opponent. Currently, we have 5 navy for ACCM and 3 for Yo. But Yo at least able to protect himself. Therefore, ACCM now retreats. Best advice to even repair his boats, which he does on the left-hand side.
And currently, Yo not getting any food from his fishing ships. They did want to go to the next nearest fish, which was next to ACCM, and they're going to go back and take some box turtles. ACCM still has some deep fish. Nice thing about taking that deep fish earlier that was far away from his base. Now the close deep fish is available.
Keeps him safe like that. He's not as exposed. It's actually quite good. So it's adding up here. ACCM having a good game so far. Just a few seconds behind when it comes to villager production. Not gonna matter. More importantly, it's the navy that is going to be really relevant. In a few seconds, another demolition raft might go for some explosive momentum here. Interesting decision by ACCM, taking some strange fight there with his fire galley, but at the same time harassing the food income of Yo.
Yeah, he has more numbers, but they are much weaker because they haven't been repaired up yet, and that demo is probably going to change things around. Here's a demo of ACCM. That's a huge shot, getting damage on four of them.
Nice. Terrible situation for Yo. He has no more presence on water, actually, that we can speak of, but at least going for Castle Age earlier, once again making use of the Italian's bonus. Let's see how much that's going to have an impact, because now his dogs are under attack. I strongly assume that he's going to just garrison the upcoming boats inside of his docks and then potentially go for some upgrade before he strikes back again, but we'll see.
Yeah, ACCM should use this advantage to take out the fishing ships of Yo and also defend his own fishing ships. Unfortunately, they're getting harassed by Mr. Yo. I don't know if ACCM is going to be able to take out a dock. Fire galleys do so little damage against docks. You really want regular galleys for that job.
So yeah, just asking myself what kind of chances Yo has. He needs to be super cautious, and this is what he does. He just sits at home now, tries to keep everything as safe as possible, keeps his boats just garrisons, because as we've mentioned, he needs to go for the next upgrade. What does he have in store? He has 4 fire galleys, 3 more in the making, whereas ACCM has 8 out and 1 more in the making, and also demolition rafts. The water is in the hands of the Vietnamese player for now, and Yo needs to prepare himself. He needs to step it up as much as possible. I would love to see actually another dock or anything like that, but probably at this point not affordable. So I understand him. He at least is going to have the time advantage, but is he going to have also the advantage when it comes to quality speaking of the strength of his incoming boats, of his navy, it will be tough because also the docks are about to be taken down, so at some point he must ungarrison. Needs to hurry up and strike back as efficiently as possible.
Well, normally I think you know, ACCM might focus on one dock. Instead, he's focusing on all the docks, I think, because he's worried about a demo. But Mr. Yo making good advantage this time of his quicker uptime as the Italians. ACCM going into the next stage now. Had to get out another building, had to spend a lot of resources on those walls. All those things delaying him a bit. But if ACCM can make it up to the next stage without taking too much damage, again, it should be an advantage playing as the Portuguese.
Exactly. Absolutely correct. So Yo is now going for War Galley, but dude, how many War Galleys do we see? None. Okay, did he even cancel that? I know. So what do we have now? We have Fire Galleys and we have Fire Ships. That's the most important thing. And at least for now, ACCM, feeling intimidated for given reasons, needs to retreat, taking some good fight on the right hand side, 2 versus 1. Left hand
good fight
side,
on the bottom too.
a nice technique. He's just
a good fight on the left.
Yeah, he's actually trying to split up the army of his opponents and catch him off guard.
Alright, but now going to take a loss in the middle and take a loss on the right, as he did end up engaging. And it's going to even out quite a bit. It's 9 Fire Galleys versus 9 Fire Galleys. We have War Galley being upgraded for ACCM. And yeah, now ACCM is going to be on the defensive.
Interesting decision, War Galley. Well, that's going to be nice for him.
War Galley upgrades the Fire Galleys, remember?
Yeah. It's interesting to see that how different they think about the situation. So far it's Yo's momentum, and he's making use of that. That's pretty good. You look at the fishing boats, that's actually not of relevance anymore. 1 for ACCM, 1 fishing boat versus 2 for Yo. Besides that, everything quite equal. ACCM with the more diverse combination of units. And what is this? Is that a caravel or is that a galley that he's making?
I think I saw caravel.
Yeah, those are caravels in the making. I just this.
Yeah, it's a stronger unit, especially with the choke points on this kind of map. At the same time, it is more investment. It is riskier right now because the Fire Galleys are the strongest right now, and also Yo has another town center.
That was a strange one here. ACCM is wasting his navy now on the left-hand side. And as if mentioned, Yo might have the economical advantage due to having additional town centers. So,
yeah, this is a big investment for ACCM. He's investing into a new unit. He's going to have to get Bracer and Balconero. He's going to have to get Ballistics. So if he loses these caravels now, that's might be a game. Might be the game.
Yeah, true.
But they're doing good damage. Wow.
It adds up, right?
They're doing great damage.
Damn.
And that's not even taking into account that they could pass through other units.
No. That would be quite sick.
Oh man, I think we have a game. I thought, honestly, that those fire ships were going to take out the caravels, but the caravels are doing great. And so Yo is going to have the eco advantage, but ACCM has a big advantage on water.
True indeed. He needs to make use of that, of course. So what he needs to do is win the water and surround his opponents. Make sure that he cannot spread out anymore and keep him stuck in his own base. And from that one you can build up on, but we'll see. It's easier said than done. But the caravels are good choices, it seems. Needs to be just careful.
Yeah, it needs to be very careful. And just adding a demo here and there would be so great. And there's that one demo.
Oh, so good explosions. Really good explosions. Yo is losing the water. It's official.
Yeah, those demos really turning things around. That's a great combination. Just one demo here and there and a bunch of caravels.
Yeah, indeed. That's a nice view. Now the question is, of course, what is Yo gonna do? He knows that he actually needs to do something about the water. Losing it entirely wouldn't be so wise. So what he does is reinforce still with Fire Galleys. Is that the right choice?
Well, Yo can certainly afford more. He's got a much bigger economy. He's going to be up 15 villagers in just a second. Has the wheelbarrow upgrade. So it's kind of like throwing knights into archers. You kind of hope your economy's strong enough to keep doing that. But ACCM is just building up more and more.
Good comparison there. That makes sense. But yeah, Yo is able to reinforce better. But ACCM also now has reached a number with which he can just somewhat snipe or kite and then just snipe off whenever it's possible. That's one thing. Also, Yo making a really smart choice in my opinion, spreading out to the left hand side. He's making use of the round that is not taken yet, because it seems that ACCM might want to go there at some point, maybe in 5 minutes or so. So Yo's thinking ahead and already going there to secure some more goals, to be sure that he has more income for the next part of the game.
Yeah, I like ACCM's strategy. Just keep adding caravels and try to add some town centers in the back. But I think this game is really going to come down to ACCM's army control and army position. ACCM needs to keep his caravels doing damage, whether it's to ships, to docks, or to villagers, because he needs to make up some of this economy disadvantage.
Yo actually also wants to drop a castle somewhere, probably a defensive one, or maybe just...
Yeah, castle could really save him.
Yeah. And there we go, he goes to Imperial Age. I'm gonna be sick.
And I think those caravels are not doing enough damage to the docks, so it's best to maybe look for some villagers.
Yeah, indeed, that takes quite some time. I mean, he takes down this one dock, but you're right. Taking down villagers, harassing the economy is very much important. Especially now that Yo is spread out slightly. He needs to make sure that this doesn't continue like that. He needs to make use of the water control. Otherwise...
kill the villagers! Let's see how many go down. Oh, not too many.
None.
Yeah, I don't see really the damage being done from ACCM. He's taken out a lot of fire galleys, but this might be a different situation once a castle gets up and fast fire ship comes in. Or actually, oh no! Oh, I remember. Italians don't get fast fire ship.
Oh well, okay.
That's a big problem.
Let's see what the difference is gonna be. I mean, the difference maker for Yo. He's dropping this castle at an interesting position, just to the front of his base. Just making sure that his docks are safe, the potential docks that he can add in the future. Fair enough. Fair enough. That tells us that he is interested in keeping up the water contest, at least. Not taking over the water, but at least contesting it. Keeping ACCM busy doing that. Whereas ACCM now entirely surrounded his opponents. Doesn't know about the TC on the left-hand side for the records. But that is just a minor thing. More concerned with what is going to happen next, as Yo is going to reach a PLH. Question is, what is he going to do then? What kind of options?
How did that galley not get converted on the top? I swear that counter went over 5 times over. But bigger issue is, without fast fire ship, what the heck is Yo gonna make?
Yeah, that's the question, right? What is he going to do now?
He's still making fire ships. This might not be something Mr. Yo is aware of.
Yeah, maybe he's going to realize it. Oh, wait. Fast fire ship.
Oh, they do have it. Never mind. Ah, damn.
Oh.
I thought I knew something. I swear they didn't get it. No, they don't get heavy demo. That's right. Ah, damn. I don't know on my water text. They don't get heavy demo. That's the one they don't get.
That happens, man. Alright, so
damn.
that's good for you.
Damn, I thought I knew something.
Like
Either way, there's not a lot of fire ships out. There's maybe 6 or 7.
Interesting by ACCM, by the way. He's now trying to drop something here. Does he even have the stone for that? Well, not yet. Maybe he's gonna attack the market and pillage it.
Alright, I'm watching the damage on these fast fire ships. They're currently only taking 1 damage apiece, so they have mega armor right now.
Wow. Yeah, ACCM needs to retreat actually. Ooh, he was gonna go for the watchtower. Is that the right decision?
He needs something. This is not working. The caravels are doing no damage. This is such a big difference between fire ship and fast fire ship. It's kind of crazy. Maybe it's just with this balance, but this is really crazy.
I'm not so sure if ACCM is gonna win like this. That's insane. Does he even? Maybe he wasn't aware of this, but yeah, it's really tough now to deal with the fast fire ships.
Oh,
he needs
man.
to actually upgrade those caravels. Easier said than done. Castle now way more defensive than he probably intended to have it.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Man, ACCM's advantage just went down the drain with that fast fire ship upgrade.
Getting Wilbur at least earlier than in the second game, or what it was. 36 minutes in the game. Okay then. So, what now? What to do? As you said, the advantage is going down the drain. We have a war galley out now. What is in the making? Demolition ships. More and more demolition ships. No more caravels. He understood that it doesn't work anymore. War galleys and demolition ships. That might be too late. In the meantime, Yo is doing what the Italians are known for. I sense Conquerors that might be pushing through very soon.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any way to anticipate this. That those caravels normally a Castle Age unit will at least do 2 or 3 damage against an Imperial Age unit, but 1 damage is absolutely nothing. I don't know if that was anticipated.
Well, yeah, good question. I mean, but then again, it was the whole map of ACCM. I would say that he at least made enough research to actually understand these things, but maybe he underestimated the power spike that the fast fire ships get with 8 armor, pierce armor, 8 minus 3 at least. Well, it is how it is now. ACCM needs to improvise. He needs to find another way to deal with it. The question is, of course, which one is the right thing to do, because I mean, he does one real important thing, and that is walling up, stone walling up, because he knows, oh, that was, how did that one fast fire ship actually go through?
That's a good question.
But yeah, he needs to protect himself, as in, well, he understands that the Conqueror push is going to happen very soon, and that one is going to be a tough one.
And I heard a bombard. There we go. Got a bombard cannon on the left. So, oh, this is tough. This is ACCM is stuck in his base. His northern castle is going to go down. There's only so much wood to be taken in this little tiny base of his. And
oh yeah.
Oh man, this is tough.
Yeah, this is probably a tough situation now for ACCM to get out of. As you said it, he is stuck, and he actually was the one to keep Yo where he is in, right? This is why he went for the water control. This is why he tried to surround his opponent, but it was not enough, and therefore ACCM caused GG for the 3rd time.
And that means that Mr. Yo is going to go on to the next round and earn that $400 and potentially more, and that means ACCM is going to stay here. Correct?
Well, yeah, Yo is done. He is through, and ACCM is out. Therefore, congrats to Yo.
So Yo, realizing his potential a little bit, played perfect on 3 or 4 of these games. Did not do so well in the first game. If this is a trend for Mr. Yo, then every top level player always respects Mr. Yo quite a bit when they talk about the best players, the best players of all time. So he's certainly realizing that. And the ACCM is so close. It's yet another tournament where he gets so close, almost beating Leary in the first round by losing by 1 game. Obviously, he won some series after that. And then this series getting pretty close, just missing 2 games. And, it's another tournament. He gets really close, but not quite there yet enough to get onto the next round. Yeah,
not quite there yet. You're right with that one. But he has the potential. We all know this. We all saw it. Hopefully next time. But against an opponent like Yo, it is certainly no shame to lose. Therefore, it was really, really enjoyable, this whole matchup that we've seen. Really strategic. Let's not forget about the calculated ways of ACCM, how he did those things, the unfortunate 99.9% to be exact, tower didn't go up. It could have been different. Hopefully next time. And yeah, besides that, really, really great series.
Yeah, really great series.